Okay, gotta admit, corporate law, maybe not the most riveting dinner table topic,
Right.
but it's way more interesting than people think.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you
Yeah, once you get into it.
get past all the
It's fascinating.
jargon.
It is.
This deep dive, we're not trying to turn anybody into a lawyer or anything.
No? Yeah.
It's more about, like, how do they think?
Yeah.
How do they approach things?
Exactly.
Because that can help anybody, right?
Absolutely.
Like if you're dealing with businesses,
True.
contracts, like even just understanding how the corporate world works.
Mm-hmm.
So we found this Indeed article
Okay.
all about corporate lawyer interview questions.
Interesting.
And it's really like a window into what actually matters in this field.
Yeah, what they're looking for.
Yeah, you ever wonder what your lawyer's actually thinking?
All the time.
Well,
Yeah.
this is how we're going to find out.
I love it.
So, right off the bat, this article says you need more than just legal knowledge
Oh, for sure. For sure.
to be a good corporate lawyer.
Yeah. I mean, the law is obviously the foundation,
Right.
but it's almost like a tool.
Oh,
And you need other skills to actually use that tool effectively.
like what?
Well, they talk a lot about interpersonal skills,
Okay.
like communication, negotiation,
Oh, I see.
being able to explain things clearly.
Mhm.
And that's huge because you're dealing with so many different people.
Yeah, like who are you explaining things to?
Well, think about it. You might have to explain a complex merger agreement
Oh God.
to a board of directors,
Right.
and they might not have any legal background.
Right.
So you got to break it down.
Make it simple.
Make it simple, yeah.
That sounds tough.
It is. It's a real art.
And it's not just board members, right?
Now you've got clients, opposing counsel, sometimes even the media.
Oh, wow.
You got to be able to communicate effectively with everyone.
Yeah, and I guess it's not just about explaining things clearly either.
No, you're right.
It's also about listening, right?
Absolutely. Active listening is key.
And probably being able to, like, handle different personalities.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Some people are going to be really easy to work with.
Yeah.
Others, not so much.
You got to be able to read people.
Yeah.
Figure out how to approach them.
So there's this example in the article about a difficult client
Oh, right.
and how a lawyer might use like active listening
Yeah.
to deal with that situation.
Yeah, to really understand their concerns and find a way to address them.
And I guess the whole time you got to stay professional.
Yeah, absolutely. Always professional.
So all this brings up ethics, right?
Oh, yeah. Ethics are huge.
Because the article, they really emphasize that.
Yeah, I mean, corporate lawyers, they're dealing with a lot of confidential information.
Right.
High-stakes decisions.
Mhm.
So those ethical standards, they got to be rock solid.
And they give an example about conflicts of interest.
Yeah, like if a lawyer has a personal connection to somebody involved in a case, they have to step back.
Really?
Yeah, to avoid any bias. They call it recusing themselves.
Makes sense. Yeah. You don't want any funny business going on.
Exactly. It's about maintaining that impartiality.
That's a good reminder for everybody, actually.
It is.
Not just lawyers.
No, not at all.
To think about our own biases,
Mm-hmm.
even in everyday situations.
Right. We may not be dealing with billion-dollar mergers,
True.
but recognizing those potential conflicts, that's important no matter what you do.
Yeah, like, are you really being objective?
Exactly.
Or is there something else going on?
Yeah, it's about being self-aware.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got communication,
Mm-hmm.
we've got ethics,
Two of the big ones.
and I'm sure there's a lot more to unpack here.
Oh, yeah, we're just scratching the surface. Yeah, like developing that self-awareness
Right.
and recognizing how, our experiences might color our judgment. So back to this Indeed article,
Okay.
there was this one part that really jumped out at me.
Oh, yeah.
It was a sample answer
Okay.
about disagreeing with your boss.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, like what do you do when you think your superior's decision is wrong?
Right.
But you gotta be respectful.
Yeah, you can't just tell them they're wrong.
Exactly.
So what did they say?
Well, the answer wasn't just about blindly following orders.
That's
it was about, explaining your perspective,
Right.
but backing it up with solid reasons.
Oh, I see.
And then trying to find a solution that works for everybody.
So it's like you're not just saying no,
No, not at all.
but you're offering an alternative.
Right. You're being proactive.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
And it shows a lot of maturity, that you can think critically, but also be diplomatic.
Yeah, because you don't want to burn any bridges.
Exactly.
So most of us aren't arguing legal strategy in some fancy boardroom.
Right.
But how can we use this in everyday life?
Well, think about it. Have you ever disagreed with a coworker?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Or or maybe your boss.
Mm,
This answer, it's like a blueprint for handling those situations.
okay, so you speak up,
Yeah, but respectfully.
you listen to their side,
Hmm.
and you try to find some common ground.
Exactly. You work together.
That's actually really
I
helpful.
think so.
I'm gonna remember that.
Good, good.
So we've talked a lot about communication ethics,
Hmm.
but this Indeed article, it also mentions some other interesting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the more questions section,
Okay.
they ask about things like technology and risk.
Ah, interesting.
So it's not just about contracts and legalese.
No, it's much broader than that.
Like how so?
Well, corporate law, it's not this isolated thing.
Right.
It's connected to business strategy, technology, even global
Ooh,
affairs.
wow. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's a complex ecosystem.
And technology seems to be playing a bigger and bigger role.
Oh, absolutely. Technology is transforming everything.
There's a question in there about document management systems.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So lawyers got to be tech savvy these days.
They do. They're dealing with massive amounts of data.
Can you imagine all the paperwork?
Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
And then there's this whole thing about assessing risk.
Right? That's a core part of the job.
So what does that involve?
It's about identifying potential legal problems,
Okay.
analyzing how likely they are to happen,
Mhm.
and then advising clients on how to minimize those risks.
So it's like being a fortune teller.
Kinda,
Yeah.
kinda, but with a legal twist.
Yeah, you gotta see into the
And
future
understand the law
and the business.
and the industry.
That's a lot,
It is. It's a challenging field.
but also probably pretty exciting.
Oh, it definitely keeps you on your toes.
It really makes you think of like what skills are we going to need in the future?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Not just for lawyers.
No, for everyone.
I mean, this Indeed article has given us like a ton to think about.
It really has.
What was like the biggest takeaway for you?
You know, for me, it was the emphasis on adaptability.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
being able to learn and adjust to new situations
Mhm.
because things are changing so fast.
Right, especially with technology.
Yeah, technology is disrupting everything.
So lawyers can't just, rest on their laurel.
No, they got to stay ahead of the curve.
They got to be constantly learning new things.
Absolutely, continuous learning. That's the key.
That's good advice for anybody, really.
It is. It is.
No matter what you do.
No matter what you do, you got to stay curious.
So speaking of technology,
Yeah,
we talked about how it's impacting corporate law now,
right.
but what about the future?
Ah, the big question.
Like, how is AI going to change things?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. We've all heard about AI writing contracts,
Mm-hmm.
doing legal research.
Yeah, even arguing cases in court.
Could it actually replace, like, human lawyers?
It's possible, right?
That's kind of scary.
I mean, AI is getting so sophisticated.
It is.
It can already do a lot of the tasks that lawyers do.
So what does that mean for the future of the legal profession?
That's the big unknown.
Like, what skills are going to be valuable?
Right, if AI can handle all the routine stuff,
What are humans going to do?
well, maybe it'll free them up
No,
to focus on the more complex issues.
the things that require, like, human judgment.
Yeah, creativity.
The
so
things that AI can't do.
At least not yet.
Or maybe it'll lead to, like, totally new areas of law.
That's possible too. We're in uncharted territory.
It's exciting and a little bit terrifying at the same time.
I agree. It's a brave new world.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has. It has.
I mean, who knew we'd end up talking about AI and the future of law?
From interview questions.
Yeah, from an Indeed article.
It's amazing where these conversations can go.
It really is.
And it just shows that, even topics that seem kind of boring
Yeah, like corporate law
can actually be really thought-provoking.
and the skills that we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
like communication, ethics, being adaptable,
Yeah, those are valuable for everyone.
not just lawyers.
No, not at all.
So whether you're negotiating a deal,
Right.
leading a team,
Or just trying to figure out life.
these insights from the world of corporate law, they can really help.
Absolutely. It's all about thinking strategically, making good decisions.
And always, always learning.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that's about it for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
And thanks to everyone for listening.